So we worked on this file in our last class, and I told us that I also sent it to us. I hope you guys received it in case we just want to have it so that we can start from the same page. But I want to confirm with us, are we working with my file I sent to us, or you guys have this file? Which of them? I'm working with this file, let me know.
You mean the one you already did that you sent to us, Abi?
Yes.
So I'm working with my own
Excellent.
file.
Anybody working with my file? Okay, whether you are working with my file or not, let me quickly show you something in Power BI first of all, because it's something you are going to later experience. And the thing is, if you can recall, am I going to share my screen? Let me share my screen. If you can recall very well.
You are sharing your screen already.
Yeah, I want to share that part of my screen. So if you can recall,
okay,
we connected to our data source, but we want to assume our data source changes. Or let's assume I sent data to you. I sent the Power BI file to you, and I sent in that case, whatever case, whether your data source changes or someone sent the Power BI file to you, yes, you are going to see all the report, the data model, but the moment you do a refresh, you are going to have error. Why are you going to have error? The reason you are going to have error is this. When we come to, remember we have our data source. At the beginning of each query, let us check the sales query. I believe you can see my Power Query screen. And I come to source, the very first item. And I click on the icon, the settings icon. You are going to see that if I click on this settings icon, so if I click on this settings icon, can you see what it brought out? It's telling me that the file part that connects to this file, to this query, you know, there is each query each table is a query. It is on this location. Now, if I send this file to you, this is the file part that is there, that is still going to be there. But in the actual sense, doesn't mean that is where my data source is. That is not, or let's assume I adjusted some things on my computer. I believe you can see my screen now, my file explorer, yeah. And I decided to move sales data exercise. Let me decide to delete it. You understand? Or I move it somewhere. So now, can you see now that is the last item? What's happening to you? Okay, let us just drop it somewhere. You can see now that I've changed the location. I hope you guys can see that. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, and I come over here. Everything is pretending to look good. But the moment I do a refresh all, you are going to see what is going to happen shortly. Can you see error?
Yeah.
So how do you resolve this challenge? To resolve this challenge, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? You need to go back to your query. You go to the source. You understand? You go to these settings. And that is the manual way. And you are going to browse to the new location of your data. You understand? So this is the new location of my data. Can you see it?
Yeah.
And I'm going to select it. I'm going to click on open. And it's asking, is it an Excel file or other types of file we connect to? You know, data and Power BI connects to different data sources. So which means that it's not that the moment you have connected once, you can't change your data source. Let's assume my file was previously Excel file and it's now CSV, but it's the same data. You can see now that you can change it. So it's still an Excel file. I click on OK. But you know, I'm only doing this for one query. Can you see now that there is no longer error on my sales query?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I need to repeat the step for everything, basically.
Okay.
You need, because each query is different. It's not, we are the one that knows that they are related. Sometimes you are going to be connecting to different data entirely. You understand what I mean by different data, like entirely. Yeah. So that is what is happening here. So as long as the data source has problem, once it has been changed, removed, you two need to just come here and modify. You can see what I'm doing now. You need to modify your data source. It's very important we know this. It can happen. It can happen to us. So I sent something to you. It doesn't mean that you can start working with it automatically. You can just quickly do this step. So Mr. Miwa, Mr. Miwa, Engineer Mikhail, I greet all of you. Engineer Naima, I greet you. 2 hands for all of you.
Well done, bro.
So, sir.
Yes. Can I read? Just hold on. Can I bring down my hands because I'm using it on my mouse?
As long as Zainab approves, no Allah.
Wow.
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 I reserve my comments. I'm not going to say anything. So, Engineer Naima, you are not talking. Okay. So you can see now that we can modify our data source. It's very important to know this. It's very basic. Not when I say it's not really something complex. Let me put it like that. Don't let me say very basic. So it can happen. It can happen. Anything can happen. You may be arranging your file. You know, some people they put on 1,000 files on their desktop. So let's assume they repented and they decided to organize their folder on their computer. You know, everything they are working with is going to scatter. Is that not so? So once it scatters, this is how to resolve it. So as much as the data source changes, you just change it like this. So the other, so that's that about that. Let me just complete it so we can see. So we can see. Table 2, this is exactly not where we are going, but we need to do it. We need to do it. So do you guys get that?
Yes. I want to clarify something, sir.
Please just quickly clarify.
Okay. So does that mean that the question I asked, that if you had something to your Excel file, is this the process we are going to use to update?
No, I wasn't answering your question. No. I was,
okay.
Me, I'm doing part of my class objective for today.
Okay.
What you said is, the video I sent answered it already, Zainab. That video answers your question.
It was after watching the video that made me ask the question.
But the answer is also in the video because I answered it in class. I knew it is a potential question. So it's basically, let me just quickly answer it. This is it now. Let's assume I have the geography, and let me just use this to explain. It may not be, it's practical. So we want to know, your manager wants to know, okay, give me the sales by governor of each state. Is that okay? You know that for each state now, we are going to have a governor, right? State governor, state governor, and I have governor here. So which means that it is your job as analyst to go and find somewhere you are going to get list of the name. I don't know how you are going to get it, but just go and add it as an additional column here. So the moment you add it as additional column, you have created the dimension. That's all. You understand? So when you add it here, it may be from the Excel file, basically, and it may be from somewhere else. It may be from Power Query here too. But we don't want to use our Power Query. We don't want to add data in our Power Query. We always want to do it inside Excel because Power Query is for transformation. So you basically do it from your data source. Remember, Excel is not only your data source. There are 1,000 places the data sources can do. So that's that about that. So you just modify it. Do you guys get that? I was even doing one work that is a little bit interesting. Let me just show you for experience purpose. So what I did during the week was that I have a group. There was some WhatsApp lecture, like WhatsApp test. You understand what I mean now? Like messages were sent on WhatsApp. And the messages now, I need them. But you know, you want to compile it as a document. Are we guys together?
Mm-hmm.
You want to compile the messages as a document. Let me try and show you an example. But you know that when you copy text in WhatsApp and you try to copy into Word or anywhere or your Google Doc, the problem is what? It is going to show the number of the person or the name of the person that wrote the test.
Yes.
Right? With the time.
Yes.
Yes. So the big question is, how do you work with that file? How do you generate your documents at the end of the day without that thing? You don't want to see that number. You understand what I'm saying now?
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you do it? Maybe I should give you as assignment.
Teach us. Oh.
I'm not teaching you because I've taught you how to do it. I'm not teaching you. So this is an example of what I'm saying. Guys, can you see my screen? Can you see now that you have, can you see what I'm saying? I don't want all these guys, all this my name, number. I don't want them. And you can see it's a lot. When you have more than 500 messages, you cannot be removing it one by one. I'm even saying 500 is small, you understand? So you cannot be doing it one by one. You need to find an efficient way to do it. So I can send the data to us. You can play with it and figure it out. I'm not teaching us. So you always face problem. Me too, I've not solved that kind of a problem. But I was just like, I need these documents. I need them out. And I wasn't, there's actually a way you can do it in Word, but I wanted to play with Excel. You understand? So there's a way to do it in Word anyway, in Microsoft Word, which may be a little more complex than Excel. But once you know it, you know it. So that's another, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that we are always going to be faced with that kind of a problem every day that works. So we need to know how to resolve them. So, and that's why we are in this class. I've taught us how to do it. I can send it to us and we play with it and fight with it. What's happening?
All right.
Okay, it's evaluating. You know, I did close and apply. Is that yes. So in this class, what we want to start with today is, remember in our Excel file, we have not created one dimension. There is a dimension table we have not created. Who can tell me the name of that dimension?
Time. I'll be date, sorry, date.
Who is that?
Date.
Who is that? Who is answering?
Calendar.
Who is answering me?
Calendar. Zainab.
Okay. So we want to work with the calendar. We want to create a calendar table. So it is a rule of thumb that we always create calendar table. It's very important because we can't do any analysis based on without a calendar table. Is that okay, guys? So how do we create calendar table? There are actually two methods to create calendar table. One of them I will send to us. I will do it in class. Another I'm going to record. Is that okay? Are we fine with that?
Okay.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time. That's why I mean, when I said not a lot of times, but it doesn't work doing, if there are two methods to do something and we are spending up to 30 minutes on one, then we spend 30 minutes on the other. And remember, it's class, we are going to spend more than that. That is why. Is that okay? But if it's something we can quickly do in 3-5 minutes, I will show us. Is that okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So We want to use the Power BI approach to create calendar table. And remember, I said we have the reports view, the data view, and the what is the third view? Model view. So we are going to come to our data view. You can see now that I can navigate the channel, the customer, the geography, the product, the ship, and the sales. First of all, tip number 1, or should I call it trick? Tip is a tip, not a trick. If I decide to expand the channel, let's assume I'm working with it. I expand the customer, I expand the geography, I expand the products, I expand the ship, I expand sales. You can see now that everything may not occupy this screen now. Can you see it? It may not occupy, I might need to be scrolling. So, but I'm done with my work. I want to collapse everything. Am I going to be clicking on it one by one to close it? Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't want to be doing like this to collapse. So the tip I want to give us is this. Look up, look up, look up, look up, look up, look up. The tip I want to give us is this. Can you see this guy?
Yes.
Yes, I'm going to click on it once. It has collapsed everything, and I'm going to click on it back. And can you see everything has been collapsed?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hi.
Do you get that?
No, I didn't get
Yeah.
Ah, you want me to open everything again? Okay. This is what I'm saying. Can you see now that sales is expanded and the geography is expanded? Can you see it? And let's assume I have 8 or 10 dimension tables. I have been working with Power BI since morning, and all of them are expanded. I can see all their columns. Now I just want to make sure everything is closed so that I just have one open. It doesn't make sense to be closing all of them one by one. Does it make sense? It's taking a lot of time. So what we can do is this. Please look up. I may not repeat it again. Look up. I'm just going to come here. Can you see fields? And you can see an arrow pointing away from my screen. And I'm going to click on it. It collapses everything. And I'm going to click on it back. Can you see now that I don't have any table opened? Do you get that?
Yes, yes, but
Do we all get that? Abdul Moiz, it's been a while. Abdul Moiz.
Yeah, Monsieur.
I said it's been a while. What's happening?
Allah is our first guy.
I can't hear you.
I said, may Allah is our first guy.
I hope everything is fine.
Yeah, we are good. We are good.
Okay, please be good though.
Microsoft Allah.
Okay, please be good though. Huh?
Yes. Thank you.
So, so we want to create a table. Can you see now that under my data view, I have home, help, and table tools, and we have new measure, quick measure, new column, new table. What do we want to do? We want to create a new table, and I'm going to click on new table. Guys, do we have anybody working with me? How many of us are working with me? How many of us are working with me?
I'm working with you, but something like black is covering your screen or something, or is it mine?
Like black?
Yeah.
Yes.
My screen?
Yeah. One has gone. It remains 2 more. Another one has gone. One bigger one now appeared. Okay, it remains the last one.
Okay, let me stop sharing completely and I'm going to start sharing again. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe, it did not happen in our last class.
Yeah.
I don't want to finish that sentence, but it did not happen in our last class.
Okay.
So is it still,
We understand.
is it
It's
is
not
it
showing again.
is anything okay? Is it still showing you or not?
It's not showing again.
You know, we need to be observant. Plus, we are data analysts. We must be observant of our you understand now, Mr. Miwa. So,
Very obvious.
so we are going to create a table. The name of our table. Can you see now that the moment I click on table, it shows something like a formula bar, and it shows table equals to. Guys, I want to know who is following me. Who is just
you don't get it.
No, not in my own class. If you don't get it, we have to get it. You don't forget about it. So in my class, you don't forget about it. So who is with me? Who is doing it with me? Who is where I am? Who I know Zainab is doing it. Who else is doing it, please? What I like is for us to be doing it, but I'm not getting response. Oladepo, are you doing it?
Start again. Start over again. Why do you create table for?
Hello, sir. I
Okay.
had network problem. I just resolved it.
Okay, congratulations.
Hello, sir.
Congratulations.
Please, can you come back, please?
Come back to where?
Like where you
Mega
said new
Junction.
table.
So you just click on new
Is that new
table.
table?
You click on new table. Once you click on new table, it's going to show table equals to in the formula bar over here where I have my mouse.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Please, engineer Mikhail, are you also doing it with me?
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Oladepo, you are doing it. Zainab, you are doing it. Naima, are you doing it?
I have access to the system. Yeah, I was trapped outside and it's raining.
Okay. It's okay, no problem. It's okay, no problem. I hope I pronounce your name correctly, Naima.
Yeah.
Okay, because I saw something that I was just laughing on someone's status. They shall pronounce that name, that the Naima that has money is something, the one that doesn't have money is another thing.
It is well.
But I don't want to mention both of them because we have to be very careful. So
don't leave it there.
So let's just we remove that table equals to, and we are going to have the calendar equals to. So the calendar equals to something, and what is it going to be equals to? Power BI is very smart. We just want to generate dates. Basically, what we want to do is we want to generate a calendar. When we say calendar, characteristics of a calendar, all days in a year are there. Is that not so?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we want to generate all days within this sales period. Do you understand? Even if it is just 1 day or 2 days in a year, let's assume we just made sale on July 1, 2020 and December 1, 2020. It will generate all days for what? For the whole of 2020. Because at the end of the day, we want to analyze our data and see, okay, how much sales was made in January, February, March. For you to be able to do that, you need access to all this. So there is a very beautiful function that can allow you to do that. Calendar auto. Calendar auto. I'm just going to type calendar auto. It is, can you see the definition? If you look at my screen, it is saying returns a table with 1 column of dates calculated from the model automatically. Are we together? So I'm not going to put anything inside. I'm just going to close my brackets. I'm not going to put anything inside. Once I close my bracket, I'm just going to hit enter. And it's trying to work on it. And bam, we have it. Can you now see that it has created dates? It was smart enough to know that I was trying to do dates. Guys, look up. I don't know if you can see my screen clearly. I've been trying to use magnifier, but it doesn't work for me. I don't know why.
We can see it.
You can see it clearly.
Yes.
Let's just try magnifier again today. Does it magnifies my screen? No.
No.
I don't know why it doesn't work. Okay.
We know why.
No, it works for me. Like on my own screen, I can see my screen being magnified. But when I'm on Zoom, it doesn't work, which is shocking. So we have dates now. We have our date. The calendar equals to calendar auto. But remember, we want to this date now. Can somebody tell me what it is going to be in our calendar? Remember, in our calendar, we want a lot of we are going to have dates, month, right?
Yeah.
We can have what we call month number. We know the reason later, month number. We are going to have quarter. For us to do analysis by quarter, we can have week. We can have day of the week. We can have just name it. Month, quarter. These are the basic things we always have. Yeah. Oh, you understand? We need these items. So, but out of all these items, one of them is going to be reporting key. Which of them do you think is going to be reporting key? Naima, please answer me.
It's supposed to be there. Okay.
Yeah, please. There is one in front of this the calendar in that format number.
Oh,
I don't
that
know.
one is
What's
just
the
a line number. If I go to next line, it's line number. If you are
Like you're writing code.
yes, this is basically code.
Okay.
We started writing code anyway, but this is when
Alright.
yeah.
Thank you.
Naima, yeah, I didn't know you wanted to ask a question,
So the
but I'm
date
not
that
asking you a question. Naima,
Okay, I'm with you.
what is supposed to be reporting key in all these columns? All these
it should be
let Naima answer. Don't worry. Question is,
Reporting.
yes, what is going to be reporting key out of all these things? One
Okay,
of them
sorry,
is
what do you mean? Like
which one has the lowest granularity? Naima has not watched my previous classes. Naima has missed class. Okay.
I'm with you.
Yes, I'm asking out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which of them is going to be the reporting key? Naima, do you have a guess? Are you trying?
Yeah, I'm trying to look through it.
No, just look at my own screen. It's just one of them. Reporting key is that guy. Once you know it, you know other guys.
I think the dates also.
It's date. Okay. Are you sure?
Date,
Date or
yeah.
month?
You said what we know if we know that the other.
Yes, look at it very well.
I want to believe we know the date, we know the year, and we know the month. Sorry.
Are you sure?
That's my guess, Cha.
Final answer.
Yes.
Do you want to phone a friend? Okay, so date is actually correct. Naima, please go and watch my previous classes. So
Yes, I'm watching, but I'm just taking my time to go through, do something.
it's okay. So we have dates now. So date is eventually going to be our reporting key. So we want to generate month and year. So how do we generate month? How do we generate month? Let me even first of all sharply show us something in Excel. Let me show us sharply. Because our class is hybrid class. So, I mean, I don't think we don't. Okay, let's generate our month first. We want to generate months. We come to column 2. You know, we've created a table. So what do we do now? We create a new column. Is that okay, guys? So for us to do a new column, can you see now that I have home, help, table 2s, and I have column 2s now? And I'm going to come here, and can you see new column, guys, ladies and gentlemen? And I click on new column. So it's not, you can see now I now have column equals to something that is blinking. So we need to write our name. We need to write name. And we need to just edit it and say month equals to something. So now we need a formula that is going to generate month for us. From, we know date. And we already agreed that once we know dates, we are going to know other things. Now we need a formula that is going to tell me the month. Anybody, any guess? Anybody, any guess? Should I give us a hint?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. When I was teaching us something in Excel, I said something. Something doesn't change what is in a cell. It only changes what you see. And what you see is not necessarily what is in a cell. So, what is that thing?
Okay, we format.
Martin,
Format.
okay. Martin.
I said
Format.
something.
Okay, format.
It's formatting.
Format.
now.
I said
Yeah.
format. Okay. So we are correct. It's actually format because format. So what's actually happening is that when you generate months here, you can basically apply format. That is what we are doing. We are only applying format to our date. So it's just simple English. We can now use that same format. But I'm going to take us to, let me just open it first, because eventually, after, when you work on your own, you must know where to go, how to consult sources. You understand? You must know how to do it. And I want to show us the format documentation, documentation online. So, but format is telling me that I'm going to put my value. So what do you want to format? What I want to format is my date. But you can't have access to something unless you enter. You can't have access to a room unless you enter through the door. Is that not so? Unless you want to come from the ceiling. But I don't know about that. They don't do that in my village. Everybody that wants to enter a room must pass through the what? The door. So the door to any column is a table. You need to reference from a table. In that case, my value is going to be the calendar date. I can't just put dates there. I need to say that, okay, the calendar date. Do you understand? So let me just do it again. You just start typing. The moment you start typing, it gives you everything. You can navigate with your down arrow key and you press tab. Is that okay? So I want to format my what? My D calendar. So can somebody guess what the formatting is going to be for months? We are going to put it inside double quotes. What is the formatting going to be? Anybody, anybody, anybody? Anybody? Any guess? I mean, just guess. Something a little bit obvious. Guys, no, it's a code. It's like a code. So it can't be month. Something that represents month. So it's going to be MMM. So if you put 3M, it's going to give you short months. If you put like 4 M's, it's going to give you long month. So let us do 3 M's first and press enter. And if you guys want, I can, after today's class, once we are done with this guy, I can put all this code in a test file and send to you. Do you want it?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, give us.
But it doesn't mean I want us to learn, no, but it's just a reference, not that we should type it ourselves. Don't copy and paste. Okay, so we have our month, but if I change it to long, like 4 M's or 5, it's going to give me as what? Long month. Can you see I have JAN previously? And now I have January. Can you see now? So that is the format. There is a similar function in Excel, but that function is not format. That function is, can somebody tell me? So let us just do equals to
date today is just something.
Yes, so
Now we're here now.
So we can now do equals to text. The name of the function is text. And I'm going to put the current cell there, and I'm going to put MMM. So can you see now that it is correct? And I can decide to do equals to text. I put this cell place, and I put my format again, MMMM. If I want long months. Do you get that? So it's just a good digression for us to know. Good to know. So we have new column. We want to create year now. So can someone guess what year is going to be? How can we do year? Any guess?
The same way we did the month,
Yeah,
but instead of
welcome,
MMM, we can use YYY.
Are
Good
you
morning,
sure?
good evening, sir.
Good evening. You should send
want
them
to
Fura de
invite him.
Nunu to us now. Rukaya.
I don't have access to Fura de Nunu.
Why?
If you ask me for Kuli Kuli, maybe you get because I'm Takpa.
Can you send it to me? Me, I don't mind though. Like 3
So,
kg. Don't worry, I don't
3
want to.
kg of Kuli Kuli.
Yes, I do want to see where I'm living online because I'm scared of some people.
You don't want village people to
If
visit
those
you.
people
Why
want
not,
to
sir?
know
Carry on.
where you are
We
living, those
discuss
people
it
know.
later.
So it comes to format our year, and we are going to put the calendar. So I'm scared of some people. So that's why we need to be careful.
Sir, did you just cancel that month and then started typing, or
You created a new column.
right?
I created a new column.
New column.
So we are going to put here, and that's a very good one. So they are basically a little bit intuitive. But I said I wanted to show something. This is my browser, and I'm going to say format, because there are a lot of formats we can apply. Format, Power BI, documentation. What's happening? Okay, let me change my internet source. Or what's happening? But you guys can hear me now. Why is web page not?
Yes,
going?
sir.
Okay, we'll come back to it. So we can see now that we have our year now, and we want to move to what? We want to move to what's happening? This is surprising. Okay, let's select it. Bicycle, bicycle, bicycle. Okay, now I have it. And then we can check format. And 1212. And we can see value, that's what we have. But what I want to show us is this. There are a lot of things we can do. You can see now that we have, let me just scroll down. Yeah, can you see we have format, we have D, it returns the day number, DD, it returns the day with a leading 0, DDD. Can you see we have a lot of them? We have W, we have M, MM, MMMM, MMM, QY, YYY. I hope you guys can see those formats we have. There are a lot of them, and we have examples. I can send it to us in chat in case we want to consult it after class. You understand, guys?
Yeah.
Oliver. What? Let me that's not full check.
So now we have here, but we need month number. We need what we call month number. How do we generate month number? Any guess? So we create a new column as usual. And what I basically need is there are two methods to generate month number. We can use format and we can use a function called month. Is that okay, guys? When you use format, you need to put M. You just put M, one single letter M. This is what I'm saying, month number. And we have format, the calendar, date, and then we put M. Oh, sorry, in M, and then we close brackets and enter. Everything looks good. Can you see now that it's showing me month number? And I can decide to do month number equals month. You don't need to put any format. It is smart. But the smartness is only for number. It is not going to give you for as a text like January, February. It's only going to give you 1, 2, 3. That is why we need a format. So we create a new column again. We want to generate our quarter. We want to generate Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Is that okay? So that, you know, like Nigeria, they say that, okay, the GDP of Nigeria has grown in the first quarter, in the second quarter. So we are going to have what we call quarter. And I want to show something. When we use format again, and then we put the calendar date, we put comma, we put capital letter Q inside, and we close brackets, it is going to show us what? A number, 1, 2, 3, 4. But what I actually need is a what? Is capital letter Q. So any guess on how I'm going to generate Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4? Is there anybody that is going to tell me? The mind of some people is telling them, concatenate. I see some people's mind. They are saying, that person wants to say it. It did not, the person was like, if you know the Power BI. So how do we generate it? Anybody? There's actually something similar to that concatenate, but there are guys are not answering me. Are we fighting? Hello, somebody?
We are not fighting now. Maybe it's what we know we talk.
You should, at least we should try now. Is there concatenate inside Power BI or not?
Yeah, there should be.
There should be.
As far as since it is in Excel, and since it is in Excel and it is in all these MSC, definitely it should be in this one too because it's coding.
Okay, so let's try it. There's actually, let's try it. So let's just call it Q quarter. Let me put it test because I'm going to eventually delete it. And we can say concatenate. Yes, concatenate. And we put our text 1 and text 2, which is going to be capital letter Q and comma, the calendar. It's now going to be what? the calendar quarter, and we close bracket, enter. But I think this is long. We can use a.
But where did we okay? Where did you get the calendar quarter, or did Power BI automatically generated it?
We generated it now using format. We generated it just now.
Okay.
Yes, we generated it just now.
Okay.
So you can see now this is method 1 for generating quarter test, and we can also do we can also do capital letter Q. Is not, let's try, and the calendar dates. I can't. Let's try if it's going to work. The calendar quarter too.
Okay.
And enter. Does it work? Does it not work? So that's method 2. Let's see. Yes, no, it doesn't work. Can you see? So for it to work, you need to convert previous quarter. You need to convert it to a text. We can actually do that from here, but I'm not going to go through that route. It's going to work when we convert the data type. Can you see where my mouse is? When we convert it to a text, it's going to work, but I'm not going to do that. What I'm just going to do is I'm going to click on this column and delete it. And I'm going to show you the third method. Is that okay, guys? Which is the efficient method.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure I want to delete. And 1, 2, 1, 2. So I come back to my quarter, and I'm going to say that just under this place, we are going to check the documentation. When you check this documentation, you have the code in the documentation, but we have something. Can you see this guy? A backslash. This backslash, can somebody see? I can't find it again.
Yeah.
Where's backslash now? Just hold on for me. Let me find my backslash.
Show it now. Yeah, this is it.
Yes, this guy.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm trying to expand it first, but it flies away. So this guy, it says displays the next character in the format string. Can you see? So what it means is that if I want to display Q, I can just put a backslash here, and I'm going to put Q. So it's going to interpret the first Q as add it as the first item because of this backslash. It's going to add it. So once I just, it's like an escape character. It escapes the next thing it says. It doesn't apply it as a format. So I'm going to just press enter. So let's assume you want to do M1, M2, M3. What do you do? Backslash M, or I mean M, just single M. So, and it's going to work. Do you get that? So that is very efficient.
Me, I don't understand the magic you did.
It's not magic. It's not magic. It's just a formatting I'm applying. Backslash is a what's it called? It's an escape character. We just type \Q, which means that Q is going to be added. It's going to be concatenated with the result of this Q, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's all. So we have quarter now. We have
Okay.
what else do we need to generate? We need month number. Okay, we want to generate week and day. So we just do new column. Basically, everything is format. The only thing you don't need to use format for is date, which is calendar auto. You can see it makes our life easy. So equals to weekday equals to format, the calendar, date, and you can always check here in case we have forgotten. Can you see? DDD display the day as a full name. DDD like 3D, it displays it as an abbreviation. So let us use the abbreviation, and then we are going to have DDD. And what do? We press enter.
I can't find backward slash. Voila.
It's beside your, just on top of your shift, on top of your, what's it called now? Navigation key. Up, down arrow. Oh, sorry, that is not forward slash. It's on top of
Okay, I've seen it.
under delete. Okay,
Yeah.
and we have weekday. Can you see now that we have our weekdays? So let's just stop here. Let's stop here. And we can even generate something like month year. What I mean is this. Let me just do that one as the last item. Month year. You want to see your month and year, because eventually the goal is that we want to see month year together. Because let's assume I have 2014, 2015, 2017 in my data, and I want to see January 2014 alone. How do I see that? Alone. I want to see January 2014 sales alone. So I'm going to say month year equals to format equals to the calendar date, comma. Then the format in this case is going to be MMM. Then I put an iPhone, YYYY. Do you get that? So it's going to display 3-letter month plus 4-letter or 4-figure year. Do you get that? It's going to separate it by an iPhone. Are we together, guys?
Yes.
Okay, so everything looks good. We are now going to come back to our report view. Or before, yes, we come back to our report view. And I have a very question for us there. Who am I going to call? Let me check the chat. Yes. Clement, you are welcome. Mr. Clement.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening. Are you just, I'm not sure, but the moment I went to the chat, it was your name I saw first. So maybe you are the one that
no quite.
Okay, don't let me welcome you. Don't let me. Okay, let me call Abdul Muiz. Will you try? So my question is this: I'm going to create a table. I just want to quickly see something. I want to see the result of what I'm doing, and I'm going to put month in my table, and I'm going to put sales in my table. Can you see now? Why? Can you see what is happening? I have the same figure in all my April, all my months. Is that supposed to be?
No.
Yes. So over to Abdul Muiz. Why? Why is it displaying like this? There is a step we are missing. And I want us to tell me. A step we all know. So, because someone said, now wait till we know, we go talk. But it is a step we all know.
Are we supposed to refresh?
No, not refresh. There is a step we are missing. Any guess? Any guess? Oladepo, someone is raising his hand. Who is the person? Naima, yeah. Are you trying to answer? Yes, please.
No, I have a question.
Can you first try and answer my question first? If you don't know, you can ask your question, please.
Yeah, when we did auto calendar, like how the Power BI knows it's supposed to start from 2014, because I noticed it started from 2014.
Yeah, because Power BI is smart, like you. What Power BI did is that is why we need to come to our sales table. Power BI is going to scan through your old data model, your old data. You understand? And it's going to be like, oh, is there a date column somewhere? Are we together? It will now go and look for the list date. You understand what I mean by list date?
Yes.
And it's going to go and find the maximum date. And it's going to create a calendar between the two. Between the start year of the list date, get that right, and the end date of the maximum date. What I'm saying is this: if our list date is 31st 12 2014, the calendar is going to start from where? Calendar is going to start not from this date. It's going to start on 01/01
January,
which is the start of the list date. I don't know how to. My English is, don't mind me.
Yeah, I get you.
You understand? So if the maximum date in our data is 01/01/2021, what is our calendar end going to be? You understand what I mean by calendar end?
01/12/2021.
I'm coming. It's going to be what?
01/12/2021.
You are just a little bit correct. You are not totally correct.
31.
Oh,
31/12.
I thought 01 is the end of the year. So you understand now. So that is how it works.
Yes.
But for it to work, it is important we do something correctly in Power Query. You must have told Power Query that your order date or any date column you have, you must make sure you have changed the type to date. If the type is not changed to date, Power BI is not going to recognize it as a date because it is like a policeman looking for dates. You understand? So you've answered that question. So guys, I need us to tell me. I don't want to tell us. I said that step is very important. We've not done something. We have calendar table and we can say our calendar is not working, but others are working. Why?
Let us load.
No, now it's loaded now because it's already loaded inside Power BI. Because we generated it.
Okay, we have not. Have we? Is it connected to the center? Some fact
thank
file?
you,
Fact file.
Mr. Ladipo. 2-5 for you. I-5 for you from where I am. Thank you. We go back to our data model. Can you see calendar is just sitting alone?
Yes, we have not
gentle like me. It's just looking alone, not connected to anything, but it's important that our calendar is connected to sales, which is the fact. So what am I going to do, guys? I'm going to come
either
to
drag
yes,
or manage relations.
I'm just going to drag and I'm going to drop it on order dates. I'm expecting a question from us. I'm going to drop it on order dates. Can you answer that the relationship has been created, guys? Can we see that? So when we now come back to our data view, can you now see that everything makes sense? Please, somebody should answer me.
Yes, sir.
Somebody else should answer me. Abdul Muiz, Are we still here? So we can now see now that we have different dates. So we can, I hope you guys are seeing the importance of your relationship every single day now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it comes back to strike. So that is problem number one. Problem number two, wrong with this table. What is wrong with it? Can somebody tell me?
I mean, it is not in ascending order.
Yes, thank you, Oladepo. So how do we fix this problem?
We filter.
We filter. Thank you, but it's not totally correct.
Are we not supposed to sort?
We sort. Okay, how do we sort? I'm going to click on the 3 dots that I have here. And can you see sort by, we have month. If you sort by month, it is going to be seen, it is just going to sort it by alphabetically. Can you see? It is sorting it in descending order now, and you can change it. But that's not what we want again. So it is not sort, it is something else. Okay, anybody? So how do we do it?
Ascending or descending?
Yeah, it doesn't work because it is a text. This guy is a text. He's going to sort it in alphabetical order or alphabetical descending order, something like that. So, which is not what we want. Which brings us back to our report view. And we come back to the calendar. And can you see that we have month number here? That is what we want to use our month number for. We want to use it to apply an order. Do you get what I'm trying to say? We want to use month number. We want to use month number to apply a sort order. You get that? Because our month number already knows that 1 is January. But when you do it alphabetically, January can never be the first one. But we want to enforce. That is what we want to do. So how do we do it? It's very easy. Guys, anybody with me? Or am I too fast? Am I too fast?
No. No, sir.
Okay.
No.
So I come back to my calendar table. I click on month. If you are with me, click on month. Make sure you have clicked on month. After clicking on month, then just look up and look at my screen. Can you see what you see by sort by column? So you actually correct sign up, except that it's a different kind of sort. So this is month, and we are going to click on sort by column, and we are going to click on sort by month number. You understand? Which means that we want to sort based on a particular order. The order is what? Is on month number. Month number is already what? A number, which means that we can sort it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you get that?
Yes, sir.
So I click on month number. So I'm sorting my month by month number. And after doing that, I'm going to come back to my report view. And I come back to report view, and because I've messed up with this, what's happening? Okay, let's just remove it and just okay, I think I know what's happening. We need to do something. Let me just hold on. It's not, this is what is happening. Come back to your calendar table. Your month number is not a number at the moment. It's a text. It needs to be a number, and because the result of a format is a text, guys. And we come over here, data type. Remember, we always change data type to in Power Query. So the same way you change data type in Power Query, you want to change data type for a month number to what? What do you want to change it to, guys? Guys, what do we want to change it to?
What number?
So we change it to an old number, or is it a whole number? Mr. Ladeko, Mr. Linguist.
It's whole number. The whole number.
Okay, we learn every day now. As you don't tell me now, if I see someone say, I will say, no, it's a whole number. My guy taught me that it's a whole number. So now we can see now that everything looks good. You can see the importance of little things, that the moment you fail to do some simple things, the impact it has in our reports. Basically, every other place inside this Power BI is like our kitchen, where we cook the meal. The result of what we have cooked that will be served on the dining table is on report view. Every other place is like the kitchen. You go to market. You understand? Marketplace is like that Power Query. That's where you buy everything you want to need. You mix them together. You want to grind paper, you grind. You want to do this, you do this. You understand what I'm trying to say? Then you bring all of them home. You load them to the kitchen. You understand what I'm trying to say now? So guys, we have January, February, March. Everything looks good. There is one thing that remains, which is what? Look at our dates column. Because the thing is that Power BI comes with a calendar in his brain. It has a calendar in his brain that it uses to work. But we don't want to use that calendar because that excuse me. Because that calendar does not have month, year, month number, it only has date. So what we can do instead is we want to tell Power BI that, okay, always use these dates to do any kind of calculation that involves date. So I'm going to click on date. I'm going to select that date column. So after selecting it, are we together, Engineer Mikhail?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you. Rukoya, are we still together? Rukoya, are we still together?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I thought you stopped talking because I asked for Kulina. So we have dates now, and we select the dates, and on top of where are you? Yes, we have to come back to table tools. Under table tools, guys, look up. You have to come to table tools. This thing I'm telling you is very fundamental. They are the things you must always do. Like, you don't have a choice. Any project you need, they are like golden rule. You have to do it. No choice. It's not because it's one kind of analysis. You can see now that we've not even started the analysis. And that is why I was explaining to us in one of our classes that visualization or whatever is not the main thing of our work. It takes lesser time compared to every other thing we do. Imagine we did data modeling, we did data transformation. Today we are working on the calendar. We have not even started any visualization or analysis. Is that not so? So we click on mark as date table. Can you see mark as date table? So I'm going to click on mark as date table. So I'm marking the calendar table as a date table. And it is going to ask you for a date column. And your date column is basically the date. And it has validated that it is actually a date. Because you may have selected something that is not a date. So it is trying to cross-check on you whether you have selected the date in the actual sense. And you click on OK. Now everything looks good. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. So let me find a PowerPoint slide for us. I want to show us something in PowerPoint. So, and we can see we have our sales, but the big question you guys should be asking is, how are we able to quickly know the total number of sales in January, February, March? No sum if, nothing. Bam, it has done it. I come to this place. You understand? This page 1, and we have sales by region. It has done it. No formula, nothing. What is happening? What is happening? So what is happening is what I want to show us, and just give me 1, 2. Just where is my slide? Slide for everything. Done. I want to open the slide. The videos I upload to, like my YouTube videos, do we guys watch it? No. Yes. They are too advanced. I'm asking. Okay, I don't share it in the group.
Don't share it too.
Should you? Okay, I will be sharing it. Sorry.
Okay.
I thought I was sharing it. But I have the webinar group. I always share it there now. For those of us there. Where is this? Introduction to DAX. Where are you? I'm finding it difficult to get the slide. So let me so we have this, and so the big question is, how was it able to do it? So basically in Power BI, we have what we call measures. We don't call them functions. Yeah, we have functions, but we have measures. So what do we mean by measures? I'm going to write it out for measures. So there are actually 2 types of measures in Power BI. We have the implicit measure, and we have the explicit measure. And we also have, apart from measures, we also have what we call a calculated column. So what are these grammar? This guy just the blow for us today. What is measure? What is calculated column? What is this saying? So basically, every function you write in Power BI, they are called DAX, which is what we call data analysis expression. Analysis expressions. You understand? So they are DAX. Those are your DAX formulas. So that is the programming language of Power BI. You understand? So it is your programming language of Power BI. What is the one of Power Query I told us? Anybody to tell me? It is called something.
It's not ETN.
No.
M code.
Yeah, thank you. M language. So we have
M language.
That's the programming for Power Query. So your DAX can either be your DAX. It can either be, when you write DAX, you can either be writing a measure, or you can be writing what? A calculated column. If you have been with me, calculated column. If you have been with me since we started class today, you have all been writing calculated column, but we didn't know we are writing calculated column. So you guys have been writing calculated column. What are the calculated columns we write? The calculated columns we wrote are everything under this calendar table. They are calculated column. It is a column that is calculated row by row. It is called calculated column because you write a formula, you see the result in the column in our table, can't you see? And this function we wrote, it applies it each row of the column you apply it on. Is that not so? Guys, so that is what we call a calculated column. So all these formats, calendar auto that we wrote, they are what? Calculated columns. All these guys that we wrote, month number, month year, quarter, week, day, year, they are all what? Calculated column. Yes. But when we now come to our report view, can you notice that over here, under my field list of sales, can you notice something, guys? Can you notice that all those ones that are numbers, like discounts, profit, quantity,
values, all values.
All values, thank you. English is good. It's good to study English. Odd values, they have something beside them. What do they have beside them?
The summation symbol.
Thank you. See, and it's called summation symbol. So all of them like this, you can write what we call implicit measure with them. You don't need to write any formula. Power BI will do it for you. And that is why, let me just remove everything there. And that is why we use our implicit measure, like profits, quantity, sales. We use them in calculations like this. I can come over here to the page 2, and you can see the sales alone I have. I can decide to bring in profits. I just check the box. I decide to bring in discounts. I just check the box. You understand? And it works. Let me expand my table. You can see that it works. It sums it. In fact, your implicit measure can do more. You know what it can do again? It can do beyond sum. With your implicit measure, you can still do like basic aggregations. What are the basic aggregations? Sum, average, count, max, mean, and there's one other one, count. Okay, I think these are the basic ones. So we can do all of them. So which is that instead of we can see the way it is forming sales now. What if we don't want sales? We don't want the summation of all the sales in January. We just want to know the maximum sales or the average sales. Or I want to count the number of sales. I believe you already know the meaning of count number of sales. We want to count transaction. Right, guys? We want to count transaction. So how do I count transaction? I can just come to sales. Can you see now that if I decide to come to sales, I click on sales, this sales I have. And if you come up here, that's your implicit measure. Can you see summarization? And I click on the drop down. Can you see now that I have some average, minimum, maximum counts? All these basic aggregations I mentioned. So if I want to do a count, I can do it, which means that the aggregation that is being done on sales, which is a sum at the current time, I can change it to what? A count. So it's going to work on it, and we are going to see how it is going to change now. 1, 2, 3, change. Yes. Where are you? I can't see it. We need to. I think it's not efficient to do it on count. We should do it on.
Sir, if we pick it by the arrow side where our values is, it will work.
Where is values? Yeah, we can do it from here. Right click, right?
No. We're under where that all those visualizations are.
Yeah. We can do it from here. Yeah, from here.
Yes. If you do it from there, it will work.
Sum of sales. Where is it?
I used it now and it works.
Yes, I can't even see my sales again. Okay,
you've cancelled it.
You can see now. See the way she's I reserve my comments. So we can see sales. Yeah, it works. You can see 381, 300. You can just change it from my arrow, or you do it from here, from over here, sales, and you just come over here and just be careful you don't cancel it. Can you see now that we have standard, we have other things? We can just change it back to sum.
Maximum, minimum.
Yes, we can change it back to sum, and it's going to sum it. So you can see now that we can do all these basic aggregations, but we want to do more. We want to have power in our hands. We want to do other complex aggregations. Are we together, guys?
Yes.
We want to do other complex aggregations. For us to be able to do other complex aggregations, we want to have custom formulas that are beyond, some average, all those things are basic things now. For us to be able to do those ones, we need what we call explicit measure. And in fact, in my next class or next 2 classes, I'm going to show you how you can analyze Power BI data in Excel. Do you guys get that? You are going to analyze it with pivot table in Excel. So it is very possible to do, but for you to be able to do that, you need explicit measure. All this, your implicit measure will never enter Excel. Excel will not know it. Is that okay? Excel will not recognize it, but when we get there, I'm only telling you the benefit of what? Explicit measure. So if you want to get things done, if you want to write complex formula, Y on Y growth, you want to do complex percentages, time intelligence functions, you basically need what? Explicit measure. Is that okay, guys?
Yes.
Is that okay? Are we feeling sleepy? Tired?
We are loaded.
You are loaded.
We are loaded.
we have not done. We are just at the 88th minute of the class. Don't worry, I'm trying to slow down too. But there is no problem with it. It's just because maybe we are not used to it before, or it's not something we have worked with. It's not complex, it's not difficult. It's not complex, it's not difficult. So okay. So we have sum of sales, profit discounts. So let us write so we know implicit measure already. We already know that we can't be using it because we have other calculations we want to do, which explicit measure will not be able to give us. So what do? We want to create our first explicit measure. Is that okay, guys? Is that okay, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
So I can come back to my page 1. So what I can do is maybe I should just remove it completely self, and so that we can be on the, okay, I think you guys have it, but if you don't have it, you have this guy now. Let me just remove this table. And let me change this bar chart to a table so that I can see my numbers. I'm interested in seeing the numbers now. So we have this first state, and I want to increase the size. The size, I can come to grid, and I increase the test size to 16. Okay, we remember that this sum of sales that we have here, it is still what? Is an implicit measure. It has a summation sign beside it. So if you want to create a measure, you can create it in a very simple way. What you need to do is this. When I say we want to create a measure, we already know that what I mean is we want to create an explicit measure, right? I make sure that I come to under sales. We want to store our measures under our facts. We don't want it to be somewhere. So I come over here and I right click, just anywhere on it. You can do it here. You can do it on a field. You right click. And when you right click, can you see new measure? Guys, can we see new measure?
Yes.
And I'm going to click on new measure. So I want to write my first explicit measure that is going to do what is sum of sales is doing. So now you can see now that the moment I click on new measure, it's created a formula. Excuse me, please. It's created a formula bar for me, right?
Yes.
And what do? I remove this guy and I'm going to write the name of my what? Of my measure. So I'm going to call it sales. We can call it sales E to just denote is an explicit measure, or we can call it revenue. Let's just call it revenue. Revenue. And it's just going to do a sum. We just want to do sum. You understand? Which is going to be sum. And then what do? We want to do sum of sales. What am I going to put inside? It's asking for a column name. So what do I want to sum? I want to sum all my sales. Is that not so?
Yes.
Which is going to be what? I need to go into the table first, which is sales. And so it's basically sales. You understand? The sales column under the sales table. I believe that is not confusing. Is that not so? Sales column under the sales table. And I click on enter. And we have our revenue now in our what? We have it over here. And I'm just going to check the box so that it appears on this table. I want to check the box. Can we now see now that I have sum of sales revenue? Can you see now that it is the same thing?
Yes.
You did not write any sum evil. You know, Excel cannot do this for you now. So we already know that we want to use explicit measure to be fully to express ourselves and for other things. So basically, we don't need our implicit measure. Any other calculation we want to do is going to be with what? Explicit measure. So I'm just going to uncheck. Just hold on for me. I'm coming, please. I'm unchecking. Yeah, I'm listening.
I actually wanted to ask what's the difference between calculated column and these explicit measure, but I've seen the difference now. With calculator column, we are going to have a new column. So don't worry, sir.
Yeah, in calculator column is a good question. In fact, I think it's the question that comes out in the MCSE exam, Microsoft Certified Data Analyst exam. So they are going to ask you about difference between the two. So a calculated column is expressed row by row. It's you have the data here. We can actually come to our sales table too and decide to write a formula and create a new column. But you can't create a column that is going to aggregate. You can just do something that is, maybe you want to multiply 1.5 by your sales, or you want to have a discount. You know, let's assume you have 99, what do you say now? We have 1% discount, which is that you want to calculate 0.99 of your sales as your new sales value. In that case, you cannot write explicit measure for it. You are going to write the calculated column so that you have a new column called what? New sales amount. And you can now sum everything. You can now show the 99% of each of the rows where a 99% discount is applied. You understand? But over here, you use it to do aggregation. But the difference in the aggregation is that it is an aggregation based on filter. Aggregation based on filter. Are we together, guys? Why is it an aggregation based on filter? Because the moment I have a category here, a category called region, I don't need to do everything. It just filters it. It's filter. You understand what I mean by filter now? You have your own sales table. You set sum. Why is it not showing the grand total? Why is it showing 651 in front of noticed? 708,000 in front of statist. Why? Because when you do it by default, there is a filter being applied, which is based on your current category. Which means that if I create another table and I do like this table now, like the table I have in page 2 of month, that is another filter. You understand? I can remove all these guys and I'm still going to be able to use the same explicit measure. Let me just do it again and use my revenue now. Again, the revenue one I created, the new one I created. Different tables, so you understand? Different table, one measure. Can you see, guys? Different table, one measure. So which means that the filter at this particular time is based on what? It's based on month. So we actually call it a better time. We call it filter contest. What do I call it? Filter contest.
Contest.
So the filter contest, the concept of filter contest is one of the most important concepts in DAX. Not even one of, it's the most important concept in DAX, basically. The moment you understand the principle behind filter contest, you understand DAX. And why is that? The reason is that DAX, you don't have access to a cell in DAX. Guys, can you get that? You know, in Excel, if you want to do a calculation, you have access to a cell. You can actually say that I need this value.
Yes.
And go and pick that value.
Yes,
Exactly.
you just click on it.
Yes, but you don't have access. You only have access to 3 things in Excel. I mean, sorry, in Power BI. What are the 3 things? You have access to a column. You have access to a table. And you have access to another measure. These are the only things you can use in your calculation. Or let me tell you, then the last one is not access like that. You can't do without that one, basically, functions. You understand? So you don't have any other choice. You can't, there's nothing like cell. So try and forget about the idea of cell absolute referencing. It doesn't work in Power BI. So we can see now that the filter contest of revenue. Naima, are we still together?
Yes.
What does Zainab? Abdulmuiz.
I'm here.
Olumiwa left. Okay. Abdulmuiz. So these are the only things we have access to. So what I'm trying to tell us now is that the filter contest is based on what? The category you are working with at a particular time. You understand? So in this particular case, it is based on month. In this particular case, it is based on what? It's based on region. So if I create another table, then it can be based on what? The category in that table. And if I have 2 categories in the table, e.g., I have year and region, then it's based on those 2 things. Are we together, guys?
Yes.
So I just want to do one exercise for us before we go, and we are going to continue next class. Is that okay? Are we good to go?
Yes.
Good to go, sir.
The explanations you gave now, there are some options.
What is sum out there, please? What
It's
is it?
getting confusing, actually.
Yeah.
The difference between that calculated column and that explicit measure is somehow.
Look at again. Look at it. Can you see? Do you have any calculate? Just pay attention, please. We come to the
Yes.
calendar.
Okay.
When you write your calculated column, even though you write in your formula bar, it applies that formula. Look at months now. It is going to apply this format on each row of this date column.
Okay.
Each row, take note of my word. Each row of the date column. I can decide to come to sales, and I can decide to create a new column. Let me quickly do that and create a new column. You don't need to do that. It's for explanation purpose. And I'm going to say that, okay, the fast. Okay, so I'm going to call it discounted sales. I hope you understand what that means, which is 99%, 0.99 of our actual sales, which is sales under sales. And I enter. If you notice what is happening now, there is no aggregation at all. It is going to apply this formula on each row of sales column. Can you see now? 77.8 is we have 77.012. Now 30.98 it is. So this guy is a calculated column in this case. It's not an explicit measure.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
But when we come over here and we create an explicit measure, you click on new measure. It is doing an aggregation for you. A calculated column don't do any aggregation for you. You cannot come here and say sum of, if you decide to do that anyway, you are going to have something, but I ought not to delete it. If you decide to create a new column, you understand, and you now say sum of sales, it won't give you any meaningful something you can work with. You understand?
Okay, I get.
Yeah, you
Now,
can't
so
say
calculated column gives results row by row.
Yes, it gives the results row by row.
Why the explicit gives aggregation?
Yes.
Okay.
There are some other differences.
That means so that means that explicit measure works more or less like pivot table.
I won't say like pivot table because it's I just first of all forget about Excel because it's the concepts are not transferable. They are not you understand? But it gives you aggregations basically, and it allows you to do complex calculations.
Thanks.
Yeah. So there is something we always do in Excel. I think we have my Excel. Can you guys see my Excel screen? Can you see my Excel screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
I beg, don't disturb me. So and I need let's assume this is sales and we need percentage. You know, in Excel, it is very easy now. What do? You do articles to first, right? Oh, articles to, and then you come over here. You say equals to this guy, right? Divided by this guy. Is that not so? What do you do next?
Absolute.
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 And you do like this, and you convert it to percentage. Is that not so? This is meant to be 25.
Yeah.
So, and that is that. Can we do something like this in Power BI?
No.
Yes. We cannot directly do this in Power BI. We need to think about, we need to, no, Mrs. Zainab, reserve your comment. Mrs. Zainab, shall you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So, we have this. So that is just what we want to do. I just want to introduce you to that percentage. How do we do it in Power BI? Remember, I told you something. Once you don't forget these things I've told you, it is a very important concept. The things you have access to is a column for any calculation and a table and other measures. You understand? Other measures, like we only have one for now, which is what? I mean, okay, we have implicit, which are the implicit and the explicit. We have only one explicit for now. So these are the only things you can use to do calculation. You can't use any other thing to do calculation. So how do we do it? Which means that the very first task is for us to find a way to generate our total. Remember, we have a total here. Just like in Excel, we have total now. Is that not so? We have a total here. And we don't have it yet in Power BI. Do we have it? Do we have total or not? I need response from us. Do we have total or not? Engineer Mikhail.
I'll pass.
No, you have to tell me something. Let me just give you a hint. You will answer me. Look, this is the hint. This is the only thing we have access to. So just check 1, 2, 3. That do you have a column that is total? Do we have a table that is total? Or do you have a measure that is total? Then that will give you the answer. So can you try?
We have a column that is total.
Which column?
The revenue.
No. We are talking, when I say total, I'm sorry, we mean grand total, this total, the grand total of sales. Remember, I want to calculate percentage. For you to do percentage, just like Excel, we need total first. Right? So which is that we need to find the total so that we can now do division. You understand? We know we have revenue already, and we know that our formula for percentage is what? Revenue divided by grand total, like grand total for revenue. Do you get that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the question now is, do we have grand total at the moment? Abdul Oladipo.
Sir?
Do we have grand total at the moment?
We have.
Yeah. Where is it? Thank you.
The total to
yes.
something.
Do we have access to it?
We don't have access to it too.
Yes, so we don't have. Because you need to understand that the only thing you have access to is what? A column.
It's a column.
or a table itself, a whole table itself, or
Other measure.
other measures. So we don't have a total. So which means that we need to find a way that, okay, how can I have my total as any of these three? As a column, as a table, or as a what? As a measure. The only one that makes sense is to have it as a measure. Is that not so?
Yes.
So that I can now divide this revenue by the what? The grand total measure. Do you get that? So what I'm going to do,
an explicit measure.
yes, what I'm going to do now is to create an explicit measure that is going to calculate the grand total for us. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
We need an explicit measure that is going to calculate the grand total for us. A grand total we can have access to.
Sir, you right click on revenue, right?
No, I right click on anywhere.
Anywhere, okay.
Anywhere under this place.
Under, okay. Now the fix.
Yes. So now I want to write grand total revenue. So what is it going to be? Is the big question now. How to calculate it? Any try? Clement.
Revenue.
Yes. Grand total, not. Okay, I'm going to tell us. No need for wasting time. So the formula, I want to introduce you to the most important formula in Power BI. You know, I said there is something that is the most important concept before, which is the concept of what? Filter context. So now I want to introduce you to what we call the most important. When I tell you something is the most important, it is the most important. From now on that I've told you, you won't do without it. You will always use it. So that formula is what we call calculate. Calculate, it is a function. What does calculate allow you to do? What does it allow you to do? Let me quickly just check my slide again. Where are you? Just hold on for me. You know, I have explained the concept of filter context to us now. We already know what it means. Let me share my screen. I just want to make sure you guys understand, and I know we are going to understand because so this is actually, by the way, I'm not sharing this slide with us, so it's just additional something to let us understand. So it's just a slide I've used on my, it's a video on my YouTube. So it's a slide I use for it. And the concept of calculate, I've introduced us to the concept of filter context. So if you look at this particular guy now, the filter context is based on region, filter context is based on purchasing channel and what, and year. So calculate, it evaluate an expression in a context modified by filters, which means that if I don't want this region filter to be used on my what, on to calculate, I use calculate if I don't want region to be used as a filter. Remember I told you now that region is the filter context on this guy, and the month is the filter context on, I want to go to my page 2, but I forgot I was writing something. So let me just go to page 2. So we want to remove the filter, which is on region. We want to do the total, the grand total. So we are going to use calculate to modify. So our expression is what? Is our revenue basically. So revenue. When you want to write a measure, you don't need to write the table it belongs to, because measure is unique. So we now put comma. So we want to do aggregation of all the sales. we don't want any filter. That is why we are using calculate, so that it ignores this filter. So the function we are going to use to sum everything is what we call all. All. So we call it all, and it is going to sum. What do we want to sum? We want to sum all our sales, everything under sales. We want to sum it, or under region. I mean, we want to sum all the sales for region. We want to ignore this region for everything. So we are going to identify where are you, geography, region. So, and close bracket once and close bracket second time, and we enter. I just hold on to see the result, guys, so that we understand. Just hold on to see the result. I'm sorry, so that we can understand. It's just, I promise, it's just like the second to the last thing to show you to this class. So we have grand total measure, and I check the box. Where are you? I check the box. Can you see now that I have grand total revenue now? It is showing me the same value for all. It is not using this filter. Remember, it is supposed to be using the region filter now. Now it is not using it. It is just summing everything. Now I have my grand total. I can now do revenue divided by what? Grand total, and get my percentage, which is what? I just create a new measure again. And I can, that one is basic division. Revenue divided by grand total. Because that grand total is what I need to be able to calculate my percentage. So calculate allows us to modify the filter context. The current filter context is based on region. I want to modify it to something that's, okay, I don't want any filter. So what I'm going to do is I can just say percent, region percent. And I just, that one is just mathematics, which is just revenue. Revenue, you start with a square bracket divided by what? Square bracket, grand total revenue, enter. So it is going to show you the result as a fraction. And you can now convert it to a percentage format over here. But I need it to quickly show so that I can show you what I'm saying. So you can see the only reason we created this grand total revenue measure is what? Because we need it for our region percentage.
We need it as a column.
Yeah, we need it as a measure.
A measure, yes.
That we can have access to.
True.
So you can see now that this region percentage is showing as a fraction, and I can come over here and convert it to a percentage. And that is just introduction to calculate. So we can do a lot of things with calculate. Let's assume I want to see the percentage of Northeast compared to other states. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. You want to see how Northeast as a state performs with respect to other states, which means that you first of all need to modify the current filter context. Okay, let me find the measure that is going to give me, that I'm going to have access to, that I'm going to use to be able to find, to generate the sum of sales for Northeast alone. The moment you have sum of sales for Northeast, what do? Revenue divided by what? The revenue for Northeast. I don't know if you understand. Like some organization now, what they do, they use Lagos as a, what do you call it? As a baseline, as a, is it baseline now? Yes. So what they do is they, when they want to compare performance, sales, a lot of things, they just, okay, we know that Lagos is the fastest growing economy in West Africa. So let's compare every other state with Lagos. So they find some of sales for Lagos and they say, okay, Lagos divided by Osun, Lagos divided by Kogi, Lagos divided by Abuja. You understand? So in our own case, we want to do Northeast divided by others. But we don't have measure for Northeast. We need to create a measure for it so that you can do the division. You understand what I'm saying? So that is just that about that. We continue with our class next. It's tomorrow. So that is about implicit measure, about explicit measure, and modifying filter context, basically.
Calculated column.
Yes, calculated column. So the class is loaded up. Sorry. It's because it's a new concept, though. It's not that it's difficult, sincerely. It's not that it's difficult. It's because it's a new concept and you don't need to overwhelm yourself. Gently practice, go through what I'm giving us, implement it on your own and see. Don't just watch me. You understand? That is why I always ensure that I want you guys to also to be doing it so that you will experience an error in class and ask.
Okay.
You understand what I'm trying to say? So
yes, sir.
So it's just that's how the DAX works. That's how it works. You know, everything has its own unique concept of the way it works. And we need to master it. The moment you master and understand that concept of filter context and what you have access to, bam, nothing, you don't have any problem again.
Okay.
Question.
Thank you. Move a motion that we should join.
Let's go and digest all we have gotten. I'll come back tomorrow.
Are you seconding the motion?
Percent again, please. So,
are we suggesting? So Zainab, you are saying something.
Yes, I said, how did you converted the region percent to percentage format again? Or did you just left it in the decimal form?
No, it's on decimal now. And we come over here. We just make sure your measure is selected from your field. And
it's a measure tools.
Yes, over. Let me just, can you see it?
Okay.
Yes. So, and it converts it basically.
Okay.
So guys, if you are working, make sure you save your file. Save your file. This same file we are working with. Do you want me to send today's work to us? I mean, this file, the way I sent it to us on Friday. Do you want it? Do we want it? Someone should tell me. Do we want it? No, yes. Okay, since we don't want it, okay.
I don't know about
that.
But me,
I want it.
Okay. So it's okay, guys. I'm going to send it this evening. I will try before 10 o'clock. I will send the video before 10 o'clock. I will try. You understand? So, guys, have a beautiful Saturday evening. Don't dream of DAX. That is my caution. Bye.
Bye.